welcome back to another episode of Mad Trippin'. On today's episode, we're doing day 2 of the Riverside Campground at Bartlett Lake. It is 75 degrees at 10:35 a.m. on Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. Are you ready? Let's start tripping. Now, I did have airplane mode on last night, most of the night, so my phone wouldn't lose a lot of battery juice. I was down to the nubbins, but I brought a couple of these. This one is the Pocket Juice. It is now currently charging my phone. I have 4 of these to make sure I could take enough video while I'm up here. And I'm going to use it right now to charge the phone. So I said the time wrong earlier. It wasn't 10:50. It's only a little after 10:30. There's my camp. It survived the night. It was a bit windy yesterday. I had to fight the wind and the sun. The sun's always kind of nice to fight as you're moving around. You got to keep your feet moving around anyways. You can't sit still on the ground in one area too long or the ants might get to you. But the camp survived the night. It got a little chilly last night. It was about 4 a.m. when I had to pull the sleeping bag out, keep that chill from coming in. We're going to go over to the next 2 campsites over here, see what was left behind. Somebody left a little tent that was there yesterday. It's a little something, I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out. See if it's any good, we'll keep it. If not, we will roll it up and throw it away. A little bit of trash out here that needs picked up from this camp today. I'm sure this is somebody that was here over the weekend. It's a beautiful little campsite. This one has the trees that we like, and it's the one that we use the most, and it's kind of centered, so that's our favorite campsite over there. But we always take this one too, and this would be like the main hub. Even though that's where the camp coordinators would stay, this would be our main hub. We'd put up the awning, and that would be our poker table. We had a pretty good crew that came up here that always played poker. At least 7 of us, maybe more. There's a little rack right here. I don't think I need that. I definitely don't need to be collecting more items, but I'll put that in the recyclable bin. Somebody will come by and take it. It's metal, along with the cans. A little bit of trash out here needs picked up. Now, this is the camp that the people were at here last night. Let's go see how they left it. Maybe they left some firewood. This is the first camp next to the bathroom. Oh, there's a truck parked there. I think they're just visiting the river. They did use dirt to put out their campfire, so that will have to be dug out if somebody's going to use it. There's no big chunks of wood there, nothing that I need. A little bit of paper over there, nothing too bad. You can see the bathrooms are right over there with a beautiful shot of the mountains behind them there. Zoom in on that and give you a little close up. Not too bad. Little pieces of trash that blow around in the night. Some things are unavoidable. Bag gets away from you, a piece of paper. Can't go chasing it in the night. Little piece of paper hanging off the tree there. But these would be our main 2 campsites. So you have the first one that starts with the bathroom. Or closest to the bathroom, I should say. We'd have people that would camp over there that like a little bit of quiet, like to stay up late with everybody, but around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, they do go to bed, so they'll go over to their campsite over there. This would be the main campsite where everybody hangs out. That'd be mine and Bob's. And like I said, on down the ways for people who start to go to sleep a little bit earlier than everybody else. And it's quiet, you really can't hear anything. Especially when they had that motorhome over there and it blocked the sound. I mean, it was like peace and quiet over there where everybody was having a good time over here. So that's the camp. I'm going to take you along the river today, see what that looks like. And if the people at the other end of the campsite end up leaving today, we'll go down there and check that out. So our campsite is the 3rd campsite if you're coming from the bathroom, not from the way in. This is a one-way road, so technically the first campsite would be down there, I guess, and this would be the last one, but we're going to count from down this way towards the bathroom, going the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, and that would be the 4th one right there underneath that tree. And I could have sworn there used to be 9 down here, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just 7 right here on this side, and then the two that they closed on the other side of the road. But it is a beautiful day. The sun is definitely starting to come out. It will heat up by the afternoon today. They said it's going to be in the 80s. We'll see. If so, that would be perfect. We were in the 90s yesterday. It got a little warm. Even at night, it was a little warm last night until about 10 o'clock. A little bit of a chill moved in, which was kind of nice. Not enough to put on a jacket or anything. We got a little lizard here doing his dance right now. Let's see if I can zoom in on him. So this temperature, of course, is coming off the tree, but it says we're at 82. That could be right. The phone's not getting the exact temperature. In the shade, it's nice. Saguaro's just chilling up on the mountain there. Give you one last panorama before I shut down and try something different. Turning out to be a beautiful day here at the Riverside Campground. There's the river right there. Verde River, Green River. There is somebody in a boat over there. I don't know if you can see him. So a little paddle boat. Do some fishing over there on your own. There is no parking along the roadside. You can see it's kind of a narrow road, one-way road, coming in from that way, going towards me. And as we walk down the road here, there is a bathroom there, men's and women's. I don't know what it looks like right now. I'm not going to go in. There is a dumpster there for you to get rid of your trash. And a two-person bathroom. Now, every time I've been down here, we rarely had a problem with that bathroom. We would even go in there sometimes ourselves, like maybe wipe down some stuff and put a candle in there when we had a big group down here, and that would help with the flies a little bit and to help with the smell. But for the most part, I would say 90% of the time we came down here, they really do a good job of cleaning that out and keeping the dumpster clean, keeping the whole area clean, really. It's really a nice place to come down. The only bad side, again, is the dust. That is the number one issue. Anywhere you go camping, you're going to have insects. So insects are always around. And you have to fight the sun and the wind. It does get too hot to be down here during the summer, in my opinion. I came down here once in August and it was just way too humid. If it's raining down here constantly during the monsoon storms, you don't want to be down here. Roger, one of our main crew members that came down here camping with us, he was down here for a while during the spring. I can't really remember, but we had a big, huge rainstorm that year, and he went into town, into Cave Creek to get some dinner and stuff like that. And when he came back, the rangers would not let him down here. The road was closed because the water had risen that they were letting out of the dam into the Verde River, and it flooded this whole area. And he asked the park ranger, but all my stuff's down there, and the park ranger told him, not anymore. So the water does get this high when they're releasing the water to control it, and it will flood out this area. So I don't come down during rainstorms. Of course, I believe that was in the 80s when that happened to them. And we are in a drought, but you know, if we get a heavy rainstorm and we need to release some water down here, it could definitely flood this area. But you can see from the bathroom there, that's the road out. There's your bathroom and dumpster. And you can actually park right there. I don't know what day they collect the trash, so you don't want to ever park in front of a dumpster, of course. But you can park right there, and you can camp down here. They put these boulders up so you don't drive your cars down there, but you can build a little campsite down there. All right, let's go down. I think somebody already has built a little rock fireplace down here. And there are some trails. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing the trails alone if you're unexperienced. Or doing them during the heat. But there are some trails that go along the river, and they go pretty far down the river there. I know that there's boating tours and stuff like that now. See the little fire pit right there, and you can camp down here. It's not very level to get a tent, but you can camp down here. Now, coming up here, I'll go over all the details with you about Verde River that I know about. Somebody was burning a log down here. What you can see as you come down to the river, there are trails. You know, it's a jungle trail for sure. Everything along the river is nice and green. Looks like somebody built a swing rope here. I don't recommend swimming in the river. I don't know about the undercurrent, how strong it can get. I've never swum in the river here. I have swum in the lake. My dog swam in the river here, so she did pretty good. But here's a trail walking through here to the left. Now you're going to be going through some bushes. I highly recommend a walking stick or something with you too, in case you come across any wildlife. You can see by that rock over there that the river is actually down a bit. But you can come down here, put some bug off on to keep most of the bugs away from you. You can come down here, have yourself a nice shady spot during the day. Do some fishing. Make sure you get a fishing license. There's a nice little spot where you could set up a little table and chair to relax in the shade. Put your fishing pole in, nice little log right there to hold your fishing pole up. What a beautiful shot of the river. Now the water would normally, when I'm here, the water would be up a couple feet this way. So the river is down a bit. I'm going to give you a panoramic shot of the river here. There's a nice little landing spot over there if you want to take a boat. I don't believe you're allowed to have motorized boats in this river. This river right here at Riverside Campground is a great dropping off spot to start your kayaking trip down the river. You have to get permission from the Native American community farther south down the river to go through at certain times of the year because of wildlife protections. Along the Verde River, you are going to see a lot of birds. I guess there's a big bird habitat down that way. We'll go over that later in the video. Right now, I will be quiet and give you a nice little panorama of the river. This is a beautiful spot if you want to drop off your boat. If you have people camping up there, and they can pick you up on the way out. Down in, I believe it's Fort McDowell, but I'll go over that later in the video. So for you kayakers and boaters and fishermen, Riverside Campground is a great spot if you have yourself a paddle boat, canoe, or a kayak. Just another reminder, you are in a desert and there is a drought going on. You can have your fire pit there. Please be careful with your fires. Try to get a little more rocks around it than that. Keep it contained. Dig your hole a little bit deeper. Make sure you put it out at night. As you can see by the surrounding foliage, it does start to get dry grass that can catch on fire pretty fast. So be smart up here. So right now I'm outside my camp. I am looking for cell phone service. I have one bar, but I don't want it to go out on me. I need at least 2 bars. We used to have to go up at the top of the hill where there's a crest between the mountains where you can see the valley, and we would get cell phone service up there if we need to call somebody to bring something into town for us or bring something into camp for us that we might have forgotten, or extra ice or something. But I can tell you, down at the campsite in the past 5, 6, 7 years, the only service provider that received cell phone service down here is Verizon. T-Mobile wouldn't, AT&T, Sprint, everybody had a different phone carrier. But one of the reasons I switched to Verizon way back then was because I could get cell phone service actually at the campsite, and I thought it was my campsite for the best reception, but I'm gonna walk around here and find out. Now, right as you're coming in the road here, right as you go down the turn to the first campsite hidden in the trees there, there's a little trail right here. You'll know it by the palm tree, if it's still there, and you come down. So you take this trail down, and it takes you to the split in the river. There's a little split right here where the main river runs on the other side of it, and then this one comes through here with a little bit of rapids. It's beautiful to look at. I was down here one night with a full moon, and the moon shining on everything, making everything glow. It was just awesome. It's a little steep. I don't know if you can get to it by walking along the river. Up a ways here is where the horses would cross. But we get down here and you can see the trail does go that way a little bit. I can hear a little critter rumbling in the bushes there, probably a lizard, I hope. You can come down here, and this is a gorgeous, gorgeous spot to be. So I would come down here and take my baths. There's a little area over there. I'll show you my little sitting area. There's some rocks out there. This is not the part where you would probably take your kayak down. There's some shallow areas, especially with the river a little bit lower. You can see it was up a little bit. So the river, normally you wouldn't have this spot. The river would be up to here. So we didn't really have this spot right here to enjoy like this. This is open area where you can actually come down and put up a little tent like you're camping in the Oak Creeks or something. It's a whole nother environment down here, and you have to remember the wildlife does come down here to drink. Big open area like this is what they're going to be looking for. I will give you a panoramic shot of the river here. Now again, this is, you can see the water line there. This would all be underwater, so it's hard to get a campsite up here and come down here and camp. Now you could get a small little tent down here. You definitely want to get something where you can enclose yourself in. But this was all underwater every time. This is the first time I've been down here where the water wasn't up to these trees here, so I can actually walk down here. But this part would be underwater a little bit. You could come and kind of stand on these rocks in the ground right here, and you could wash yourself up and get nice and clean. This is before I would bring my shower down here. Now I just use the shower. The water is cold, but you can tell where the water was pushing right through there. Now there on the other side is the little island area. The river does continue on the other side. That is the split right there. It's absolutely gorgeous down here right now. I'm not even going to attempt to try to stand on those rocks over there. I will slip and fall in. Let's just do another panoramic shot of the river here. You're coming into the main campsites now. You've done your drive, you're out of the city, you're looking for a little relaxation. You used to be able to camp back here. You cannot do that anymore. It's probably too full of foliage. They didn't probably have the people to clean it out, who knows? But there is no camping there now. They built up a beam. And also up here, you can see they built up a beam along the road a little bit, and they also put up the no camping signs. I believe back at that one, there was one campsite, and this one had two, if I remember right. Again, to your left, you're pulling in. You can, if you want. I don't recommend it. Just go to the front of the campsites, but you can pull in there if it's full and park. No camping. You might be able to park your vehicle there and then go fishing, but I I don't know. There is a spot down here, so the trail's right there. That might be a nice place to park in order to use the trail. And remember, that trail is with the tall palm tree there. That trail will take you right down to a beautiful spot along the river. And as you come along the road here, you're going to hit your first campsite on the left. I'll take you into it. Drive right into the campsite. The sand's a little soft. You shouldn't get stuck here. It's over in the other area where it gets real soft and deep and you can get stuck. I will give you a panorama of the campsite. So this would be number 1, which gives you a pretty big space before you get to campsite number 2 over there. So I'll just give you a quick little panorama. You do have helicopters that patrol the river, SRP. I think they're checking the water level and stuff like that. This sounds like a military chopper coming in, and it is. Let's see if I can get it here. You drive on down the road and go to campsite number 2. Now the second entrance you're going to see here as you pull in is still part of that campsite number 1. Seems to me like there was a campsite here also, but I don't see the designated fire pit. And then we'll come to campsite number 2. So there's the first entrance to campsite number 1. This is a split between campsite number 1 and 2. You can go back there to the right to campsite 2, to the left to campsite 1. We're going to go into campsite 2 and I'll give you a panorama of what it looks like here. So these buckets people use as poop buckets. They left them here over Easter, not the people that were camping here when I was down here. They're too heavy for me to move, so I'll make sure to tell the park rangers about them. They'll clean them up. But I'll give you a panorama of campsite number 2. Again, the designated camp spots are the ones with the fire pits and the picnic table. I'll give you the measurements of the picnic table a little bit later, but here is a panorama of campsite number 2. Now, campsite number 1, you can see the shade over there. So you got some shady spots from there to there where you can put a tent. Put a tent in the back area back here, which we've done before. We've had the cars pull back there when we've had this as a campsite. A little bit over in there, but the sun does come through in the afternoon. Your best spot for a tent in campsite number 2 is going to be right in here under the trees if your tent's not too big. And it'll give you a little bit of shade here in the afternoon if you wake up late like I do. Walking back out of the main road, somebody has parked their bike in campsite number 3. It looks like maybe just for a day trip or something. So I don't want to bother their campsite, but coming off the road, as we pass campsite number 2, you can pull into this driveway here, which should be campsite number 3. I guess you could probably use it for campsite 2, but you don't want to. Pull in there, use it for campsite number 3. It also has a entrance exit over here. It's a nice little campsite. You got some shade, picnic table, designated fire spot. Put some rocks over there to block off so you don't go through other people's campsites at night, because that will lead into campsite number 4, which you cannot get from this end. You could pull in here, but that would be in their campsite. I wouldn't do that. You could park there. You need to come over to the entrance over here down the road, which gets next to my campsite. It'll be number 4 and number 5, I think. So we'll walk up the road here. Ooh, I gotta tell you, it's getting a little warm. It's gotta be in probably the 90s right about now, low 90s, maybe high 80s. I would say the low 90s. So you can see, let me get back here, yep. So there is, you come down this road, let me turn you around here, sorry. Pull down this road and you pull back through here, and this will give you campsite number 4. 3's taken up. So campsite number 4, I'll give you a panorama. Start with the rocks where you can't get in from campsite number 3 spot. I don't remember those rocks being there, so we'll start here and give the panorama. So campsite number 4 is going to give you a little bit of privacy. Put a little tent back up in there. Put a tent over there. That's going to be in the sun. You can always put a tent right here. You have an open area here next to the fire pit and the table. Again, this is campsite number 4. And as you come out of campsite number 4, you're going to share a driveway. You could, technically pull your car in. Here's a nice little area. If you give her that overhanging stuff there, you could have a nice little tent in there for some shade. Your camp table being just over here. Again, those tables have chains on them, so you can't move them too far. It's a good thing they have chains on them, because I've seen people where they take them back in the brush there and then they're hard to find. So there's your driveway. You go back out to the road and you pull in over here to campsite number 5. And I will do a little panorama of this. This is kind of out in the sun. Might be probably the worst spot here if you're coming in if you're coming in a big group and you got plenty of shade, then you got plenty of room to work with. But if you're coming here and you want shade for your tent, you can share that. You can get that spot right there. You're going to be close to campsite number 4. But there you have your picnic table. They moved the fire pit up there. The people that were here last put a fire pit down here. I also had a fire pit over there. I recommend just sticking to that fire pit right there. You don't need a lot of fires out here anyways. This is the soft sand spot though. This is the warning where if you're going to pull in here with a small car or something, it might get stuck. So I do not recommend, if you have a small car or a car that you're afraid is going to get stuck in the sand. This is the soft sand spot area. Say that 5 times fast. And it's in between camps number 5, camp number 6. So if you can avoid, when you come down the road, pull in over that way, park your car, and then pull out back out that way. Try to avoid this spot right here. I did pull in right here a little bit on the edge, so I'd be on more hard dirt, but right in that middle, that's where we had somebody stuck one time. Of course, we're able to get them out, but still a bit of hassle when they get stuck. Then you come over to our campsite, which is campsite number 6. Now, as you go down towards the last campsite, there's another soft spot of sand that can get you into a little bit of trouble. But here's campsite number 6, which is our camp, which you have seen. We're going to move over to campsite number 7. That is the designated campsite. I'm pretty sure there used to be 9 campsites down here by the river, but it looks like they do move stuff around every once in a while. So again, here's campsite number 7. We've already showed you this one. I'll do a little panorama here of campsite number 7. And then you moved on down to where we showed you earlier, and it's campsite number 8. Again, I could have sworn there was 9 down here. I'm almost sure there was, but I've only seen 8 down here so far with picnic tables. So I'll give you a little panorama here. That is campsite number 8. And this was always the last campsite before you get to the bathroom. It's a pretty good sized campsite. That's why when we come with a big group, we like to take the last 3 campsites here. This one's closest to the bathroom for anybody that doesn't want to do the walk. But recommended if you're coming with a group, of 6 or more people, you want to stake out these 2 campsites first. They provide the most area, good shade spots for tents. So as we're going through the campsites here, campsite that I like the best is actually to the right of this sign. Over there you can see where my tent and car are. I'm going to go up and take a picture of the sign so we can show you the Salton Verde Riparian Ecosystem Important Bird Area. So I'll let you read that in the picture. So I will read the sign to you here in case the picture didn't come out clearly. Let me wipe the lens. Okay, here we go. To see a bald eagle in the desert, there is no better place than along the Salton Verde rivers. Along these rivers, you have a chance to see the only desert nesting population of eagles in North America. Stretches of the Salton Verde rivers down to their confluence near Phoenix have been designated an Audubon Important Bird Area. This important bird area contains nearly 1/3 of all bald eagle nest areas in Arizona. America's majestic national bird breeds and raises young in cliffs and trees here through winter and spring. The riparian or stream-side environment of these perennial rivers is a green ribbon of Arizona walnut, cottonwood, willow, and mesquite. This habitat is crucial for many special birds. Yellow-billed cockatoos arrive in summer to breed and feed on the caterpillars. The cockatoos' presence during the monsoon season earns it another name, the rain crow. Arriving in the spring from Mexico, common black hawks stage spectacular courtship flights and select the tallest riverside cottonwoods for their nest. The water also attracts herons, egrets, and waterfowl in winter. You may also spot smaller birds like migrant Lucy's warblers, resident abberts, townhees, and a favorite, the vermilion flycatcher. So the birds that are pictured here from the top left going down and then over to the top right, we'll start with the Cactus Wren, the Gila woodpecker, the red-shafted flicker, Lucy's warbler. Back up to the top right, you have the hooded oriole, the Bell's vireo, black phoebe, and the male summer tanager. Now, I have seen a red cardinal down here. Believe it or not, he was bright red. I'm assuming that's the little guy up here. Let's see. Yeah, the northern cardinal, kind of hidden in the picture. Ooh, I like that. The birds are hidden in the picture there. So I'll take a shot of that and you can go through it. But they're showing you the names of the birds here. So this one is the Gambel's quail, the black-chinned hummingbird, the northern cardinal, the verdin, the female Anna's hummingbird, of course the bald eagle at the top there, the belted kingfisher, and the great blue heron, plus a Rufous hummingbird. I'll take a picture there. I like the way they did this. It's a beautiful piece of artwork, the way they have the birds kind of hidden in the artwork there a little bit. So I'm down at the river. I'm enjoying the nice, calm flow sound of the river, the shade. It's got to be in the 70s underneath here. It's beautiful. The bugs aren't bothering me. I got some off on. I have my other cell phone down there, my old iPhone down there, recording video for Relaxation Station. And I was looking up and I noticed there's a lot of spiders up in these trees. I'll take a video and show you the couple of the nests that they have up there that they spread. They've done a pretty good job, so they've been down here building for a little while. Let me zoom in and show you. So just looking up in the tree, I don't know if you can see it in this picture or not. So I'll zoom in on it. But there is a spider web to catch some bugs for his or her dinner. And you can see over on this side, all the spider webs tangled up in the branches. Where are they? Right there. If you look closely, you'll see a bunch of spider webs tangled up in those branches. So this is a nice little habitat for the spiders. Over in this tree, you can see them hanging off the branches there, and I'll move on down to here and see if I can zoom in on this nice little nest going over here. So if you enjoy this, if this helps your brain refunction, get back into normality, this is a nice little place to come to. Again, with the river this low, you can sit down by the banks here. I'm sure there's other parts of the river where you can find this, but usually when the water's up, you can't sit right down here like this in this nice spot, so I'm going to take advantage of it. But I do hope we get more snowfall up north and rain to help us through this drought and fill this river back up. So it's just a little after 2 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. On the radio, they just announced it's 95 degrees in Phoenix. The temperature gauge on the tree is reading over 100, but that's because of the heat coming from the tree also releasing, that it's absorbing in. So it's not that much of an accurate reading, but I would definitely say it's in the 90s. It'll get down to the 80s tonight, hopefully. It's not as windy right now. There is a breeze. Yesterday, the wind picked up around 5 o'clock, which it usually does around dusk. Settles down about an hour after sunset, around 8 o'clock. But it's not too bad of a day. Been spending most of the day down by the river. Like I was saying, I was spending most of the day down at the river, getting those shots for the relaxation station, just letting the camera roll and sitting down there and enjoying the day. It's definitely a lot cooler down there. I would say, you know, if it's 92 up here right now, then it's probably 85 down there by the river, maybe even less than that. It's nice with a nice little breeze and the water right there cooling everything down. So during the day, if it gets too hot, you can go down there if there's room to sit by the river. Amongst the shaded trees right there, it's beautiful. So if you want to get out of the sun, head on to down to that special trail I showed you and relax for an hour or two. Take a nap. You know, I don't recommend going down there alone. Definitely don't take your kids down there unless they're supervised, of course. But if you just want to get out of the heat for an hour or two during the day, that is a perfect spot to take a chair down to and maybe even have a picnic. Here's a little pro tip for you. Take a hand towel, soak it down with some water. I have cold water from the cooler that I pour on here before I put it into my extra bin there, then wrap it around your neck and it'll help keep you cool. There's another good reason to freeze those water bottles is, one, they help keep your cooler and ice cold, keep it from melting as fast. But during the day, you pop one out. This was still pretty much frozen when I took it out of the cooler this afternoon. Let it sit in the sun, and when I'm walking around, and eventually melts down and you keep an ice cold bottle of water with you for a good hour or two. If you leave it out in the sun, it'll melt, you know, within that hour, but keeping it in my pocket, sitting down by the river and just walking with it. This is my second one, so the ice will melt as you drink it, and it's perfect. You can have ice cold water all day long. It is 3:37 p.m., day 2 of the Riverside Campground trip. The thermometer is topped out at 120 with the direct sunlight hitting it, and that has to do with it being by the tree, the direct sunlight hitting it, you know, the plastic and everything around there getting hot, or that it's broken in some way. It's definitely not 120 degrees. I don't even think it's 90 degrees right now. I think we're in the 80s out in the sun. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clamp it to my tent right here, and we'll see if we can get a better reading. Once in the shade, you can see the thermometer is working with that direct sunlight and everything, and this thing is self-reflecting the heat. So we put it in the shade, and it's already down to 110. It should drop a lot lower than that. It should be probably right in this range right here, in between the high 80s and low 90s. We are walking down from the bathroom area off the road here down towards the Verde River. I like about this time of day when it's windy like this, a little breezy, it actually looks like the river is flowing this way because the wind is coming through that way and just pushing on the top of the water, and it looks like it's flowing that way, but it is not. It is flowing that way. It is flowing south. This is a nice little area down here. Again, the water level was higher. It was about up to here. So you'd have to sit up there or something, or up in there where there's no shade. But with the water level down, you can get right down in here, and there's a nice little spot right there to set up a little day camp or something. Do a little panorama of the river right here. So now that the wind's starting to pick up, I'm going to go inside the tent here and make sure all the windows are zipped up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk down to the bathroom. I'll count in my head how many steps it takes to get there. I'm using the new DJI gimbal, and we'll see how it goes. Let's go. $176 steps to get to the bathroom, the ladies' room and the men's room. Pretty clean. I'm not going to look in the toilet. That's just nasty. But it's, you know, it's a toilet. Bugs can get in there. I don't really like to use that kind of stuff. Freaks me out. Nervous Nelly. Don't like big fires. Really don't like using public restrooms. And I will if I have to. But if I have options, I'll try to take them. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I like to do with the picnic table, and just in case you're wondering if you're coming out here, to make sure you have a tablecloth that's long enough. This table is 8 feet in length and 2.5 feet wide. Again, that's 8 feet in length, 2.5 feet wide. And what we're going to do now is we're going to clean it off, and I'm going to put on a tablecloth and show you how I like it with my clamps. And voila, the table is clean. Now we can put on the tablecloth and get out our clamps. Inside my camp box here, I have a bag of these type of clamps that you get at like an Office Depot. You can get them at Walmart and stuff like that. The bigger ones, that's going to go on. What they do, put the tablecloth on, then you put the clamps. There's a ledge underneath here where they can clamp on and hang on. And I use 10 clamps. I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the sides, and then 2 on each end, which will give me a total of 10 clips, and that'll hold it nice and snug and tight. The tablecloth I'm going to show you is a cloth one. I don't like to use the cloth ones out here. I like to use the real heavy duty, thick plastic ones, or like a vinyl, something that can slide. Your hands get dry out here and they catch on the cloth type of fabric. So when we were always playing poker and stuff like that, so you're going to want something that's smooth that you can rest your hands on, pick up your cards, stuff like that, where the cloth won't get into the way. But I didn't have one of those. All I had was a cloth one, so I'm just going to use that to demonstrate. Okay, now that I got the table cleaned off, I did not bring a tablecloth to fit this table, so I'll just demonstrate how the clips work real quick so you know what's going on when you get here. We use these type of clips here. That way they can fold in like this once you get it clamped on. But I will show you underneath the table if I can here. They clip on. Once you get the cloth on, push underneath the table, and these clip on just like that. They'll hold the cloth in place during the wind. Won't hit anybody in the legs. They're perfect. Again, put 2 at this end, 2 at the other end, and then you can put 3 or 4 along here. I use 3. You can put 4, maybe even 5 if it gets real windy and you want to keep it tucked underneath so people don't pull it off and stuff like that. But these clips work great. These are the jumbo ones, the big ones. You can use a bunch of small ones. I'm sure it would help. I'm sure it would work. It's not real thick. The edge here is not real thick, so you can get some of the smaller ones on there too. but it is definitely a pro tip to use this kind of stuff when you're out here so the wind doesn't blow it away. It is 4:57 p.m. right now on day 2. I'm gonna walk down to the river and get my old iPhone that I left down there to collect some video for Relaxation Station. And as I do, I'm gonna grab my water. Don't go anywhere without your water. Gotta grab my water here. Still a little frozen ice cube in there that'll give me just enough where I'm going down here, just a couple feet. But I'm gonna go down and pick up my phone down here that I left down here as it's recording. A little dangerous to do, but there's only 1 or 2 people down here and they're not on this end of the river, so I think we can give it a shot. Woo, sun is bright. I'm also gonna check out the old campsites that they closed off. I've never actually camped there before, so if you have, you'll know better than I do, but I was just talking to a couple guys that were down here for just walking around, and they said that they used to love to camp down there. He mentioned something about the closeness to the river when you're camping there, and I've never camped there before. I wish I would have known about that. It was not meant for real big groups. That's why we never camped there. We always had 10 people or more, so we never got back in there. We wanted people to be able to find us easy when they came down. But I will walk down there and be checking it out right now. So I'll just be passing the river entrance here. My special trail to go down the river with the tall palm tree that leads the way. And I don't know how far back I can go. I don't know how much the foliage is. I'm kind of down here by myself. I don't want to get myself into too much of a situation. I can see that the tree is overgrown. Let's see, can I get it? Yeah, the tree's overgrown right here, blocking the path on this one. I would assume this one would be closest to the river. I can kind of hear it, but since I've never been back here before, let's go check it out. Okay, so first step, go through the foliage. This foliage in Arizona, there's cactuses everywhere, all types of cacti. Trees have thorns on them, so you don't want to be crushing through there. Now, this is pretty much all I remember. And you can kind of see the outline of the old camp right there on the second one. So this would be the campsite. I'll do a panorama real quick. So this is where you'd pull your vehicle in. I'm assuming this is the area where you would camp, where I'm standing. It's got the most open area. That kind of debris tells me that they had fire pits over there at one point. You can see charcoal remains of old wood. And then as you walk through here in this space between here, I guess you could have another spot right there. But here's the second road you'd pull in right here. Give you a little bit of camping. Like I said, I'll take this trail here real quick. See what's down there. There's some animal doo-doo. You can see a dry creek here for probably rain runoff that goes down to the river. That would take it a long way around the river, essentially making this like a little island or a peninsula. Oh man, somebody came down here and dumped, maybe they did that, but dumped a bunch of concrete there. I'm hoping the Park Service did that maybe to secure the ground so it didn't cave in. Maybe that's another reason why they closed down the campsite, unstable ground. This is a nice little area back here. So you could get some tents back here in this area. There's a chain there, so I'm guessing this is where they had one of the picnic tables. That's one of the chains they use to keep it down so people don't walk off with it or move it to an area where you won't be able to find it. I can definitely hear the river through here. I'm guessing this is an old path. This looks like an old trail, shows signs of it being an old trail. Yeah, I'm guessing there's too many bees I hear buzzing around and too much foliage for me to try to go through there, but I can hear the river, so this would take you right down to the river. So this would have been a nice little spot. You can also hear the river through here, and you can tell there was an old trail through here. Took you down into the depths there. Looks like a cave almost with all that foliage. I wouldn't go down there. Too much wildlife maybe. You never know what's down there. I don't want to get caught with something being out here by myself. Slip and fall, get hurt, and then you're screwed. And then you can tell there's an old trail that ran through here that just goes down into a gorge there. It's not too deep. It's not too much terrain. You can actually, I'll go through this first part here just so we can see, but you can see it goes down there. And then if you cut to the left, I'm sure it goes to the river right there, but this is just a mound of dirt that falls right over into the dry riverbed there. So they must have had a table out here with a campsite, so you could probably have fit 3 of them back here, but I knew there was 2 for sure. Again, this would be probably ideal, nice little campsite, if this was all cleared out and could get you down to the river. Yeah, there's just way too much foliage for me to try to get down in there. But I've never been back here before, so that was kind of neat to see. For those of you that have, it'd be a little reminder for you and let you know that you cannot camp back here anymore. They don't even, it's not even one of those spots where you can park your car on the side of the road and then bring your stuff back here and camp. They got the signs that says no camping. They don't want you back here. I'm guessing probably for unstable ground. I'm going to come out the other entrance here, the first one, to see how it's built up. I think. Yeah, we're coming out to the road right there. This is probably, I can see rocks where somebody had a camp. Old rock remains right there. They had a fire built up. So that does not look like a designated spot. But I'm sure when they had the road open, you just pull back in here and make one. So with the 8, which I'm almost certain used to be 9 campsites along the side of the road where we're at, you would have at least 2 more back here. That would bring the total up to, back then, plus the 9 plus 2 would be 11. And then just as you're exiting this road, when you go past the bathroom, probably a couple hundred feet on the right-hand side of the road, were 2 more campsites. They're not, I don't believe, I haven't been there before either. I'll see if I can check them out if nobody's camping in there right now. But I believe it was up away from the river. I think I did check it out one time and it didn't go all the way down the river, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time, so I will check that out. But right now we're going to go down our favorite path of the river here. Our favorite path to the river. Get back up to my tent. We're going to go collect my phone and bring it up. It's not that hard of a path. It takes a little bit of effort coming up. It's loose sand and rock, so you have to be careful. You could definitely slip if you don't have the right shoes on. Wouldn't recommend wearing flip-flops or something like that. Foliage is trying to grow over to block the trail, but I think enough people come down here. Now this is where it would stop normally. The water level was there. You could come down here and walk that way a little bit. Thinking if you walk over that way and follow this trail that used to be there, you'd run into those other campsites over there. It's probably just right through there. That looks like the same type of foliage. Let's give it a little look before we grab our other phone here. Well, this looks like the jungles, baby. I'm not going to go too far in. It looks like it starts to get blocked. I could probably make it through there a little bit. And since my phone is just down here, I'll see if I can get a little bit closer. Probably as far as I want to go. Yeah, you can clearly see through there that trail goes right on through there. We had a guy one year that he liked to go fishing. So he walked this trail from one end of the campground to the other. I know that if you used to be able to anyway, stay on this trail, and it would take you pretty far. At least that's what people would tell me. I'm guessing that campsite is right up there. That seems like the area where I was looking down. It's probably coming around this area right here, probably comes down into it. So we're kind of close to the river from that campsite. That would have been kind of neat to see, especially if it was open to where you could get to the river if you're fishing. Camp with everybody right in there. Go down to do a little bit of fishing, but where we are, you don't have to walk too far if you like to do some fishing. Not a lot of people would really fish in our group. We had a couple. I tried it a couple times. Not really my sport. I like the relaxation part of it, so I would get the fishing license just to support the community, but I wouldn't, I'd go throw a line in the river and then I would just sit there and relax. And let the line do its thing. I caught one fish one time. It was so small out here, and I've never done any lake fishing. In another video, you'll see I'll go over all the fish types they have up here down at the river and at the lake. There's my phone filming for Relaxation Station, getting a beautiful view of the river. Now, for some reason, after 59 seconds, it shut off on this latest one. I don't know why that is. I will find out. I don't think there's too much on there, so I cleared everything off before I left so I could use the phone for extra video. But, you know, technology, things like that happen. Can't let it get to you. Got to be aware of it. The last couple times I was down here filming where I let it run for half an hour, I was sitting down here a little bit of ways from it so I wouldn't make any noise to interrupt, but you know, I could sit down here and check on it. This time I tried to go do some stuff back at camp and see if I could get it to run. I think I passed the trail. I did, as I'm talking to myself here. So I'm going to show you the trail going up. It is a little steep. If you have bad knees, bad ankles, probably not something you want to try. Just take little steps. No reason to fall. I do have to say this iPhone 13 Pro Max is my new favorite thing. It is a pretty good phone. Battery life lasts pretty good, lasts a while. This is my old phone. Got my little Mickey pop socket on there. So I will drive down the road here past the bathrooms and see if those other two campsites that were on the right-hand side of the road, right as you're coming out past the bathroom, are still there. And they're a little bit further away from the river, if I remember. So let's go check them out. So we're pulling out here. It's a one-way. Pull out of our campsite. I'm also going to park my car a little differently tonight, move it around, let the tires rotate, stuff like that. A girl that was here yesterday, lady with her dogs, she brought her dogs back. So it's her car there. I don't think she'll be staying the night, so it'll pretty much be just me and this guy on the bike who brought his stuff all the way down here to fish. That didn't make sense to me. Could have parked his bike right over here. But maybe he wanted the campsite for the fire pit and he just wants to fish today. Now, as we're coming up here, no camping. Or no, it says no cross-country travel. Okay. That means there's somebody pulled off to the side of the road right there. Just doing, looks like a little day trip, having themselves some dinner, maybe doing some fishing. But they were on this side of the bathroom. Now, the campsites I'm talking about would be up here. They're going to be on the right. I can't remember if they're inside the one-way circle or just outside of it. That's why I brought the car. One year I was down here, right around this area somewhere where the cliff goes over pretty good. There was a Toyota 4Runner like mine, and he was just hanging off the edge. And he wanted me to try to tow him out. I thought, no, that ain't going to work. I didn't want to take the chance of pulling my car in. So this campsite is open. I'm going to jump out real quick and just do a little filming of it. It looks like there's only one campsite here. So I've never camped in this spot before. We probably could have fit all of us in here, but it is one table. That's an 8 by 2.5 foot table. You got your fire pit, but it's only one. Somebody left their tent, a bunch of trash. I'll see if I can come pick that up a little later on today or tomorrow. Get a trash bag going. That's never good. People shouldn't leave their trash around. Most of the people that, especially in our group, we're clean. Just pick up your stuff when you go. It's not that hard to do. It's just one or two people that end up screwing it up for everybody usually, but there's no reason for that. You can haul your trash out. I understand you were partying, having a good time. Don't ruin it for everybody else. You know, make everybody else have to come up here and clean up your mess. But there is a trail that goes down here to the river area. I wouldn't say it eventually probably goes to the river, but I thought it might be closer, but it definitely pulls back further here, and I'll show you how. I'm only going to go to the edge of the trail here, and you can see, I recognize those cliffs. You can see those from our campsite. And that tree right there, that's on our side of the river. Those cliffs are on the other side, obviously. But these big, like, cottonwood trees, I think they are, all that foliage down there, and the river, I mean, maybe it could split. I'm not going to go down there and check it out. It's a little too far down for me. I can kind of hear the river, but I know that would be the edge of it over there where those trees are. So that's a good distance away. I'll come back up here and give you a panoramic shot of the area. It is a nice little area, especially if it's cleaned up and people's trash isn't laying around. It's a little further from the bathroom. That was probably another reason why we didn't camp here. Everything's convenient, people, easy to find us, close to the bathroom, enough campsites, enough fire pits. So I'll give you a little panorama here. Beautiful. Again, it's a recommended area. It's a little further away from the bathroom. The bathroom's back down that way. It's a one-way road. Believe me, at night, you don't want to be driving down there. I could just turn around right here and go back and it'd be a lot quicker, but I'm going to go around. You don't know if another car's coming that way. You can get 2 cars by. You shouldn't. Just follow the rules. It doesn't take that much longer to go around in the car. If you're walking, I don't even know if I'd want to walk that far to the bathroom, to be honest with you. I'd definitely have my toilet with me. But it's just around that curve there where you see the light coming in. It is a beautiful campsite. Again, if they wouldn't have left their trash around and the tent there in the back that's fallen down, I don't even want to check it out. I'll try to come down here and clean it up if I can. I'll probably have some time tomorrow. The shade is beautiful down here. I'm looking at that right now. The way the sun comes in, all this would be shaded. This is a nice spot right here. So next time I come down, I might just have to try this spot. So we left that campsite area, driving down the road. See how far it is till we get to the one-way sign. I believe it's just coming up around this corner here. Here's a little spot. Oh, somebody is in there, so that would make another camp spot with a, they got a tent they're staying, so that would be another camp spot. So 8, 9, 10. That's a little spot you can pull in, no designated table. So at least, Roadrunner up there, I don't know if I caught it or not. So at least 8, 9, 10 campsites that are with a picnic table and a fire pit down at the Verde River. So that's kind of nice to know if you're coming down on the weekend and it gets packed. If you don't get early, you will probably not get one of the campsites with the picnic table and the fire pit. And if it is a, I don't know, spring break weekend or something like that, where a lot of people are going out for the weekend, Easter weekend, I'm sure Easter weekend was packed down here. So you probably couldn't get a campsite even on the riverside of the road. And there's only so many parking spots available down here where you can park. Now back behind me, when you take the road out, I'm on the way back into my campsite now. When you take the road out, there's a big flat area down there where you might be able to pull in and park. But let's get a picture of this sign real quick, so I have it for me records. Says, thank you for observing these rules. No parking along roadway, no ATVs or ATCs, quiet hours between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. No discharging of firearms. Pets must be on a leash. Tonto National Forest. Let's get a picture. Okay, it is 5:29 p.m. We're heading back to our camp along the road here. It's a nice little drive through here. You want to go slow. They did block off I just saw a fence on the left. I don't want to pull back. But you can kind of see the open road here on the left, a little open area where cars used to pull in. The one back there was blocked off, so they do not want you to pull in back here and camp. It's probably too much dry, dead brush. They don't want to risk it. I am a nervous Nelly, I will admit it. So camping back in there amongst the brush would definitely make me nervous if you had a campfire. And I like the open area of our campsite, so you can kind of see things coming in at you, a snake or a raccoon or a skunk. So right now, they're the only people down here, the lady walking her dogs, the guy with the motorcycle who's fishing, and then we did see at the last campsite, we'll call that campsite number 10, had somebody camping there for the night. Now you cannot, from what I remember, no reserving campsites down here. It's first come, first serve. Like I said, in the weekends during the nice weather, they're going to be packed. So if you don't get down here and get it taken care of early, you're probably not going to get a campsite. which is why Midnight Bob and I would come down early and reserve how many campsites we thought we needed. Some people like to have their own campsite with their own campfire where they can, leave the crowd and go back and relax and get their camp organized like I like to do. But I like to be right by the main campsite. Being right in the middle of everything. Being one of the last ones to wake up in the day. And one of the last ones to go to bed at night and make sure everybody's putting out their fires and stuff. And keep a watchful eye on things. Okay, we're pulling back into our campsite here. Past campsite 1. Number 2. Campsite number 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to pull in on the entrance over here. Now, I'm going to pull in over to the right so I don't get stuck in that thick sand there. Getting ready to scratch, put the emergency brake on here. Getting ready to scratch my second Tonto Pass. So for those of you who are wondering, this is what I went and bought at I forget the name of the store, but you can get them at some Walmarts. You can get them at game and fish places. You can get them at the ranger station if they're open, at the marina if they have them. I don't like to take that chance that, maybe they sold out or something. So I get mine in town. Went to a sporting goods store. So right at the top here, you're going to have AM or PM. The time you arrive, 1 through 12 o'clock, AM or PM. Going to put the year, obviously, it's 2022. The month, April, and then the time, the day that we came. So we came here on where is it? We came here on the 19th, and now it's the 20th. So I'm going to scratch that off. It is 6:33 on day 2. Just wanted to show you, I'm sitting on this side of the campfire. The sun is down, the camp is mostly shaded. Feels good inside the tent. If I wanted to take a shower right now, that is hot and ready to go. I think I'll wait till tomorrow. I'll just kind of wipe down tonight. But this is one of my favorite views at this time of day, right as the sun is setting and just beaming off the mountain up there. It is 6:51 and extremely gorgeous out. The thermometer over there is reading just under 90 degrees. I don't know, I think it's wrong. I think it's in the mid 80s. It's pretty nice out in the shade right now. Sun is going down. This is the time, if you haven't already started, to make sure you change your lantern. I put on a new can of fuel. The other one's all gone. It's put in the recyclable bin. Burned out all night last night. Make sure you turn it off before you put the fuel on. And I got my fire ready to go and my tiki torch set up for the night. Now there's enough daylight out, and if I was in a party crowd area, this is about the time where you start cooking and having a good time and everything like that. So I would go in my tent and make sure my air mattresses are filled up. If I had to take them to the car or something, I don't want to be walking through the camp at night and trip over something. So I might just do that right about now. So I did bring a battery operated pump, but I don't know how the batteries are on that. I like the one in the car. It goes real quick, fills it up real nice and tight. They stretched out, I'm sure, over the night with my big old body on it. But this is a good thing to do also because you come in and you take off your sheets, pillows in the chair, and shake them out so that in case there's any bugs or anything on them, you are well taken care of. So I got the 2 twin air mattresses out of the tent. You can see they definitely stretched out a bit. They held their air though. I've had them for a couple years, so worked out good that I brought them. I didn't need to open that other box of the queen air mattress there. So there's definitely work involved in this type of camping. That's why I've been saying if you're only going for 2 nights, it's best just to stay in the car. You don't have the tent to put up and take down. You don't have to drag all this other stuff along with you. You're always going to need firewood, at least somebody to bring up the firewood. But the less stuff you go with, the better. Also, that's why when you get older, it's a good idea to make sure you're saving your money so you can invest in a travel trailer of some sort. That way you pull right up, everything's already ready to go. Your kitchen, your bedding, your bathroom, everything like that is in there and ready to go. You don't have to worry about setting anything up or taking anything down. When you're ready to go, you can just wake up, have your cup of coffee or Dr. Pepper like I do, and just go and enjoy your day. Okay, that was quick and easy. All your mattresses filled right up. Shake out the bedding and put it back on and make the bed so it's ready to go tonight. All I have to do is crawl in. And that's great for those weekends or weeks when we were down here with the big group of people and partying, you're out there hanging out with everybody. You just want to be able to come in when it's done and either sit in your chair and do what you do for the next half hour before I go to bed, put stuff away, get organized, or just crawl right into bed. There ain't nothing like being able to crawl right into bed. So now let's get some blankets and covers on this. Okay, I got the sheet and the sleeping bag on. I did have to get the sleeping bag out last night as a kind of a buffer between me and the air mattress. That cold air does come up right on your back when you're sleeping in air mattresses, even though I have them double layered. Still got a little chilly on the parts that were exposed, and even, you know, the covers, I just brought regular comforter and then just an extra throwover thinking that would work, but I'm always cautious to bring this just in case, because I haven't been down here on the cold nights. And like I said, about 4 in the morning it got cold. So now I'm gonna shake these out and set this up. Bam, the bed is set up. Pillows, blankets are shaken out. Pillows, I'm ready to climb in and go to bed when it's time. Got my clean clothes that I'm gonna wear after I do a little bathing with wipes tonight. But everything's set up for me to just come in and relax when I'm ready to go. Turn on the radio. No Suns game on tonight, so I probably won't have the radio on. I'll just do some campfire talk. It is 7:06 p.m. and this thermometer is reading 74 degrees. That's about what it feels like, with a nice little breeze. I didn't have to fight the wind today. The sun is set behind the hills over there. Got maybe another 10 to 15 minutes of daylight left to get anything done I need to get done, but I am ahead of schedule. Everything is ready to go. Anyways, it's 7:15 p.m. on our second night. The sun is down, just a reflection in the sky off of the pollution, I'm guessing. But it is a clear sky, no clouds. The moon didn't come out until late last night. I believe it was about 2 or 3 in the morning when I got up to go to the restroom, and the moon was shining. It was bright enough out here that I wouldn't have had to need the lantern on. Looked like almost maybe a full moon. If not, the full moon has already passed. But it should be a nice clear night tonight with no moon interference, and I should be getting a good look at the stars. It is 8:35 p.m. on night 2. The thermometer, I don't know if you can read it, says it's about 62 degrees out. Got the tiki torch out. Hamburgers are ready to go. Gonna get all the fixings out of there. Got me a nice potato bun. For dinner tonight, we're having cheeseburger, some Doritos, and a Dr. Pepper. Let you know how it tastes here in just a bit. So I made myself a nice juicy cheeseburger. I got it off the grill. It's got some cheddar on it with a potato bun, that cheddar cheese, ketchup, and mustard. And I already took a small little bite, so I know it's good, but we're gonna dig in here. Sorry, took too big of a bite. It's very good, but campfire food is always good, especially when you're out in the sun all day. Got a nice little hot meal here with some Doritos and a Dr. Pepper. This is living the life right here. Sorry, not supposed to talk with my mouth full. Very good cheeseburger. I'm hungry, so I'm gonna keep on biting into it. So what I did here was I made the patties at home, already pre-made, put a little salt and butter on them, wrapped them in tin foil and froze them. That way all I have to do is take them out of the cooler, plop them on the fire, and they're ready to go. I like to cook mine for about 20 minutes. I don't know how long. I'm not a cook. I don't know how long you're supposed to cook them for, but I like them well done. Make sure they're nice and juicy. Don't overcook them. If you know how to cook them, you know what you're doing. I'm ready for my second one. Let's walk over to the table here, get the tongs. On top of the cooler. Not ready for that part yet. First thing I gotta do is get a bun out of the car. I think it's still unlocked. Keep the dry food in the car. Keep the critters away. It doesn't get smushed or accidentally left out and stale, and gotta take care of your campsite. So I have to be quick about this because the bugs come to the light pretty quick. So I got my buns in here. I'm gonna put the cheese on, little provolone's down there somewhere. I'm gonna do the cheddar again, ketchup and mustard. There it is. I got the cheese on the bottom bun, the ketchup and mustard on the top. Now I'm gonna go over and get this burger off the grill. Hello, my precious. Okay, so I grilled the open flap first to grill that side of the hamburger. And then that way, when I turn it over, the goodness doesn't leak out. And there's our hot sizzling patty of meat. Put that right on top of that cheese. And there you have it. We are grilled up and ready to go. All right, let's take a bite and see how we did. Big old cheesy bite. Second one was better. I don't know why. This is the good life. You need to do this for yourself every once in a while. Think positive. Get out and do positive stuff. This is living the good life right here. Absolutely. It is 8:52 p.m. on night 2. It was a nice day. Got a lot of filming done for the Relaxation Station channel. Got everything organized. Got some filming done for Mad Trippin. Just had myself a couple of cheeseburgers with a small bag of Doritos and a Dr. Pepper. And the other times that I came up here, this would be the time where everybody'd be sitting around after eating and bullshit and drinking. That's what we call it, bullshit and drinking. That's what we'd be doing right now. Awfully beautiful out here. I love this camera on this iPhone 13 Pro Max. And as you can see, one lantern even lights up a little bit over there at that campsite. You see the camp table at night. So imagine having not only this lantern going, but another lantern on the back side of the tent. Midnight's tent would be over there with a lantern going. That would be 3. Then the poker crowd would be over here, and we'd have 4, 5, and possibly 6 with another couple tiki torches. A well lit up campsite when you're just doing 10 to 15 people. But there's those red glowing embers there. And then about another hour or 2, and those will be burnt out. If not, I'll put some water on them, but they should go pretty quick. That was some old wood, dried out wood there. It burned pretty fast. That's the wood pile that we have left. Burned a little more than I thought I would tonight, but I kind of planned on, I got a lot more stuff done today than I thought. I don't think I'm going to stay Friday night. There's no way tomorrow night I'll burn all that. I mean, I would if I would stay up all night burning it. But with that and these logs over here, I'll probably take a good couple of those back with me, the good logs, because they'll last a while in the fire, so I won't burn those up here, though. They'll burn all night in there. You won't have the embers like you have here. You'll have a big log that you got to put out. But if not, I don't want to be greedy and burn it all. So what I like to do is any extra wood, I always leave at the campsite when I leave. Believe me, the next campers that show up appreciate it, especially if it's a good night's worth burning a fire. But that right there, if midnight was here and we were staying up all night, that fire would still be going, so we would have went through that part already. We'd be working on this middle part right here, and those are our big logs. We could go through this tonight, realistically. Maybe not with the real big logs. They would last. We would save those for tomorrow night, but we would definitely burn through all that kindling there, and then some of these drier out logs. I would save the pine logs there in the middle. You could start a fire with those tonight. But if we were going to stay Thursday and Friday night, we would need another pile, as high as the first one that we had. So that first pile that I showed you, for people that stay up, start the fire at, 7:30 and stay up till 3 in the morning. That first pile I showed you on the first night, that would last you 2 nights. 4 nights, you need to double the size of that pile, or have some, a lot of that was kindling, dried out wood. If you can have some of these big logs like this one over here, let me show you. This is probably one that I'll just take back home. This is a good log here. That'll last in the fire for a good hour or 2, and it'll take a while to burn down to the embers. So I got 2 of those type of logs there. I'm going to save those. I'll save a couple of the pine logs if I need to, but I might just end up leaving them here too for the other campers. Really no reason to take it home. Can't really have a fire in Phoenix anymore. It's too polluted. Got too many no burn days, and then it just doesn't get that cold enough during the winter where I've had a fire. You mostly have the heater on, so you really don't need the fire in the fireplace anyways. More just for the ambiance, that's why I did some of the filming. So instead of using the Yule log, I can use my own video. And this actually, if I would just set the camera on this for about an hour, that'd be a cool little video to have. Might do that tomorrow night maybe. See how much juice I have left. a couple videos I still have to make on the way out, which I was planning on leaving Saturday. Now I think I'll leave Friday. Get back in time to make sure I can watch the Suns game with maybe pizza and wings. But I sure am enjoying this up here. I love this camera, how it picks up that ambient light. And that's where we are. I left my door open, so I'm sure some bugs flew in. I better get back in there. But again, if you're the up all night crowd like I am, that first pile I showed, this right here, that's one night. So times that, one of those each night. Even with the big logs, and that's staying up till 3 in the morning with those big logs, and you're going to go through that kindling. But we always had a trailer, and we weren't the only ones that brought up wood. I always told everybody, you have to at least, that's kind of a rule, little pro tip here. Little pro tip here is a good rule. If you're the camp coordinator and you're bringing up a good size load of wood, I mean, if you can take a trailer and you can bring all the wood, more power to you. But I also had to load other stuff on my trailer, so I didn't have room. But I took up enough wood for easily 3 full nights. And then I always told everybody, rule of thumb is bring an extra bag of ice, bring a bag of wood. I don't care if you chop up the wood yourself and bring it. Don't bring 2x4s. They burn too fast. You can bring those to get, keep the fire going, get it started, but you need some good solid logs to burn all night. And you're definitely going to need kindling, something to get started. I like to bring up a little lighter fluid, and I'll put that on a little bit of the, maybe some cardboard or paper that I put in there, and plus on the firewood, lights it up fast and keeps it going. You just keep putting kindling on to get it hot, and then it'll burn all night, and you won't have to sit there and keep messing with it. It is 10 o'clock p.m. on night 2 of the Riverside Campground trip here at Bartlett Lake. I'm going to let these coals burn out here, start spreading them around so they burn out. I'll be up for another hour or 2 inside the tent, keeping an eye on it, and then I'll come back out and pour water on it if I have to, a little bit of dirt, make sure it's out. I like to keep the tiki torch going for a little while in case there's any critters out there. Don't go to bed with a campfire going, even smoldering like this. If a big wind picks up, it could blow these embers all over the place, and that's the last thing that you want. So I will be keeping an eye on the campfire, but for as far as the video goes tonight, I will be calling it a wrap. That is a wrap. Thanks for watching. It is much appreciated, more than you will know. Please click that subscribe button, hit that like button, and get up and get out there.